Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? How's everybody today? Hope you had a good weekend. So let's go take a look and see the new contract has now taken over the old contract in volume. So the new contract is traded 291,000, the old one 275, and volume is going to overtake it as the day progresses. So that's number one. Number two, of course, is we've got a gap. And we're going to open, it looks like we're going to open somewhere around 70, where the hell are we? 76, 75, 90, 7,600. We're going to open somewhere around here. Inventory is 100% gap long. So what does that mean? That means there's a huge short position here. And there's actually a pretty big short position here. And there's one here. There's a few short positions going into the contract rollover. At least it's not month end, eh? Sorry. I have a sick sense of humor, okay? At least it's not month end. You'll have to forgive my sense of humor. I mean, I've been doing this for 34 years, folks. I'm going to be a little whacked out. Apologies. So, yeah, at least it's not, hey, you got to count your blessings, right? Got to count your blessings. At least it's not month end. At least if you're in a pickle, you got 2 weeks to kind of figure it out. Okay, so apparently the war is over. I really hope that that's the case. Uh, you know, don't want anybody getting hurt anymore. So let's see. Now, what are we going to do? Now, inventory is 100% long. It's a gap. So you're looking for a gap fill and a correction, right? Or shall I say, okay, let's rephrase this. So you're looking for a correction and possibly a gap fill. Now, do I sound like a lawyer? Right? Under SEC Rule 17B, right? I'm not going to say there's a potential gap fill, and we're looking for an inventory correction lower. We have not had one. Let's go take a look and see what's shaking here, okay? We have not had any kind of a decent inventory correction. So we opened gap high. There's yesterday's lows down here, right? Oh, sorry. It's Monday, right? I worked all weekend, so I was working Saturday and Sunday, so I didn't really pay attention to. Yet it's Monday. It feels like Tuesday, Thursday for me. So there's the gap. It's fairly big. 74.25 to 42. Okay. We opened, screwed around here, straight up. One time framing, which means trend up into beautiful distribution. Okay, so we've got beautiful distribution going sideways here. Now let's see what happens. Now I've got the old March contract as well, right? And it says it needs to roll over. So I'm gonna kill that right now because we don't need it. Let me just get it. Close chart book. Sure. Okay, we don't need it. We're on the new one. Okay. Um, let's see what else is shaking out there. The old SpaceX, if you're looking, we've got a little bit of time before they open. See, they closed SpaceX here Friday, and we just came into that Friday cost basis. and found a bounce. So SpaceX, you've got bids at 160. Okay. You've got bids at 160 and you've got sellers up here at 171. So, second day of trading, let's see how the cookie crumbles, right? Should be interesting. Remember it's all distribution, right? It's all distribution until someone loses an eye. Just kidding, just kidding. Okay. Alrighty, so we're in distribution. What are our levels, right? They're smart to have raised margin, right? So our levels are 75.86, number one, right? If we can't break 75.86, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I submit to you, if you can't take out 75.86, we're going to do one of these. Okay? So that's what you got to watch for, right? Be prepared for high volatility at the open. Hey, Dr. Feb. You think? That's good. That's good, brother. Good to see you. You guys don't know what volatility is, right? Honestly, you guys have no clue what volatility is. It's been a very, very lazy man's market for the last 5, 6 years. When it gets volatile, you'll be throwing up in the garbage can next to you. Let's go take a look and see the lay of the land. 75.86 to the downside. Okay. Hey, what's up? Forget about it. You don't have to worry about being late, brother. Don't worry. It's all good. So I've been monkeying around. I noticed that there was a balance zone pretty much all of Globex from 87 to 92. You're welcome to use that if you want. It works nice. I'm just kind of watching this thing. It's a new contract, gap up. It's like the new aliens landed. So I want to see what the new aliens are like compared to the last set of aliens that we had on the old contract. Okay? So I haven't even taken any like serious trades. Like what's my PNL look like? I think my PNL is down $75. I haven't traded at all today. I've been coaching and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of watching. Now, let me ask you a question, right? Oh, and that's minus $75. Yeah, I haven't made any money yet today. I'm going to watch this contract. I'm going to take notes. I'm going to try and get in tune with it. I'm a little off on the rhythm, right? And that's okay. I expect to be a little off when these markets change contract. That's okay. It's like, you're getting to know a new dance partner, right? Not a big deal, right? It's Monday. All right, let's see if we can clear out these sellers. Okay, now here's the deal. If we pull over 7602, your targets are 16 and 70 and 76.31 and 3/4 to the upside. That's a big level, right? It's never been tested with this new contract. So how is it going to be okay? I don't know, right? 01 and 3/4 worked okay. I'm off. The new contract is off by 2 ticks. That's not bad on levels that are almost 6 years old, or they are 6 years old, 6.5 years old. These big. They're sort of like my Jurassic levels. Hey, that's a good name. I should call them that because they're my oldest levels, right? It's funny, in some of my old chart books I was looking at, I have levels going back all the way to like 1800, 2000. Let's see if we ever get back down there. Probably never, but anywho, we do have a little bit of inventory trapped up here. right? Most of that's probably been flushed out. So if we take out 76.31, I have no idea what's lurking here. New contract, let's see what we get. We could be putting in new highs this month. Don't be surprised. Because if we don't fill this gap, right now, I know people go, all gaps fill like parrots, right? They're like, all gaps fill, all gaps fill. If that gap does not fill, this market is going to make a move to the upside. Okay? Just know that. And like I told you, like, this gap, it finally filled. But we still have gaps down here going back into April that have not filled, right? So these gaps, we have these two gaps that have not filled, and we're going back to March, April, right? So, you know, all gaps don't fill. Gaps will fill if you have the order flow to fill them. If you don't have the order flow to fill the gap will not fill. It is as simple as that. I wish it was any different. That's all it, if the order flow exists, we'll fill the gap. If not, don't worry about it. Just don't short a gap thinking that it's going to fill in a market that has no supply. How can you tell the market has no supply? Because there's a gap. It's all very circular, right? It's all very circular. Alrighty, so say if you are looking to short this, right? If you wanted to be short off the open, as they say in Top Gun, your danger zone is 7,600 and change right here. That's where your stop's going to be. So as long as the market stays under 99 and doesn't take out that 7,600 and a half stop, here we go, watch. Right? If it takes out that, boom, then you know you're in trouble, right? Because they just raised price over where they were selling before, which means the sellers have seen buyers and they're raising price. They're trying to tell you, don't short it. I got buyers. Do you guys understand that? If I said to you, you said, hey, JJ, I want to short 7,600. And I went, don't short 7,600. I got people willing to pay 7,601. Would that register? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? Am I on mute? Holy cow. Okay. What, you guys all wake and bake or something? What's going on? Alrighty, guys. Wake up. Wakey, wakey. All right. Wakey, wakey. Right. They're going to come out of the chute in about 30 seconds. Okay. All right. If you're not awake, get the hell out of the way. Okay. Let's see where we open. Okay. The question was, Arcroy, if you were trying to short 7,600 and I was a guy on the floor on the desk and went, hey, don't short 7,600. I got buyers willing to pay 7,601. Would that keep you from shorting 7,600? Does that make sense? Would you understand that? Right? So if somebody tells you, I got buyers at 1, don't short 7,600. I'm just trying to, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep people, you know, what I'm noticing that nobody listens to me. Right? I'm noticing that generally people don't listen to me when I tell them to something. So I'm trying to reinforce. I know I'm trying to make it more understandable, or where they actually listen. I'm long 5 and I sold 7, right? While I've been talking to you, right? I bought the fives. I paid way too much. I paid way too much, right? It jumped on me, right? See, what I'm struggling with is that people don't listen. It's innately obvious that they don't listen because when you talk to them, they're like, "Well, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that," right? And you're like, I never said to do that. Why would you do that? I said specifically don't do that. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it real, trying to make it like, because like right now I know that you guys aren't listening, right? Because you're watching the open and you're like, where's the trade? What do I do? Ooh, I want to short it, right? Ooh, right? You're all like, I want to short it. I want to short it. It's too high. It's got to go down. Right now it's telling you that everybody's short under 7,600. Big green candle off the open, right? That's why I went long. Because I know every idiot shorted under that overnight high, and now they're sucking air trying to buy it back, right? It's simple, right? The execution is tough because it's a fast market, right? Like FG said, oh, be careful, it's volatile. And he's right, right? It is volatile. Sorry, I gotta call it as I see it, right? I'm just like, so now let's see, 7609 and 3/4, you're getting into 8 times cost basis, right? Now I only say that because I've been the idiot. You can't call people idiots if you've never been the idiot. I've been the idiot. We all go through the same spanking machine, right? Until then you realize you're the idiot and oh, how do I fix this, right? But that's why we're trading 7609. That's why we have these big candles because everybody thought that inventory was going to correct off the open, but the market showed you that it wasn't. It opened and went down 3 ticks, found a bid and right back up. So it tells you right away when the market opens, hey, there's nothing for sale here, bub. You want to pay, you want to pay, right? So it's straight up, and everyone's short under 7,600, and that's where the current bid is at 6, right? The current bid is 7606, the bottom of these candles here. Now let's see when it backfills, does it come back and hold 6? This is how you trade tactically, right? Now it's going to look below. Where does it find the bid, my friends? Watch 9 3/4. The levels are working nicely. It's a very beautifully mechanical market. So if you're looking for a look above and fail, uh, look below and fail, it's got to take out the 12s. Okay? That's where the sellers are right now. And right now they are stopping selling around 9, 8.5. Okay? And if it sells down, you're looking for bids at 6. Okay? So none of this is a mystery, right? This is just commerce. See how they're lowering price from 12 down to 11 and change? Now this next candle is going to open. If that next candle opens and can't stay under 9 3/4, then it'll come back down into the 5.5, 6s. Watch it. Oh, see how the seller came right up over 9 3/4? Give it some time. Watch the offer. If the offer moves higher, that means they're seeing buyers, right? Now they're coming back down. Now it's going back up. It's a choppy level. Look how the offer is going higher. The next level is the top of that candle. Aha. So why would you short it, right? I wanted to short it down, but you saw that the buyers came in here and then here. Now you know that there are sellers here. Look at the point of control. That is pure short covering. Somebody's coming in with size. Someone's coming in with size at the top of a market. Who is that? That's a desperate short. Do not short into that, right? Just leave that alone because now until it goes back underneath 9 3/4 and takes out these levels, there's nothing for sale in Tuscany. It's going to rotate higher, right? Unless a really weird, some sort of strange thing happens, a big sell order comes in and knocks it down to 6. But watch the offer. If you're not watching the offer, you're just playing tiddlywinks. You're not watching the offer. You need to know where the offers are because that's where the sellers are. The sellers are going to tell you, should you buy this market or should you sell it? If we're selling it, you should sell it. If we're not selling it, why the hell would you sell it? Because we're selling 5,000 contracts and you got 2. What do you think you're going to do with your big 2-handle short, your 2-contract short? It's not going to push the market down. Listen to the sellers. Watch the offer. They're raising price because they can see buyers, right? So why would you short a market where the sellers are raising prices? You're selling something you don't own at a price that is lower than where it's being sold at. When you think about it and you say it out loud, it really doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Does it? Wait till there's a seller. So now you know that there's a seller here. When the next candle opens, if it can't take out 15.5, it's going to probably come down to the 12s. Now, it'll be very hard for you to trade that, right? Nice work, Dougie. Way to stay in those trades. You mean 75.92? Nice, nice, nice. Watch the top of this candle. Boom, same place. Boom, boom, boom. The sellers are right there. Until they see buyers, they will not raise price over that white line. All you have to do is watch the sellers and the line. So it's a little jumpy. Watch. Can we get a print? We got a little bit. We got one sucker to buy 15 3/4 half. But then boom, they started to sell right into it. Let's say try it again. Watch the white line, watch the red line. As the red line moves up, it'll start to transact. If it doesn't, the red line will move back down to try and get rid of its inventory. You are the seller. The seller sets the price according to the buyers. If the sellers see buyers, they will raise price. If they see buyers walking away, they will lower price. It's spazzing out. Jimmy, I'm telling you, man, you're hilarious. Ever since you came back from I don't know where you went, you did some X-Files stuff and you came back. I'm telling you, right? I know you went up in the mothership, and when you came back, you're different. So you see the sellers are still selling down to 12. Let's see if they find those buyers. There's a few buyers. Watch them raise price and see if they can suck them into paying 13. If not, the price is going to come all the way back down to 9 3/4 and then 6. This is rotation, my friends. This is rotation. Hey, Zeth, how you doing? So now what we're doing is we're trying to find where's the bid. Oh, is it here? Is it here? Do I want to trade this here? God, dear God, no, I don't want to trade this. Right? I have no idea what's going to happen. I want to wait until we get some offers under 7, and I wouldn't mind shorting it back down to 1. Right? But it's got to offer under 7.6. Right? Here we go. Will it find a bid and then lift, or will it offer under 7? It has to offer under 7. Otherwise, I'm not interested. Look at it jump. Came right to 7 and jumped. I don't like trading and just getting stopped out for no reason. I don't find that fun. I know some people do, but I don't find that fun. So unless the business reason is clear, there's no reason for me to take a trade. Now, if I was doing a look below and fail of 9 3/4, it's got to get over that 12 area for me to go long. And if I do go long, I'm going to be a seller at 13 and a half and 14, right? I'll let see if it holds. This candle still has a whole 30 seconds. So if I bought 12 1/4, right? I'm out one at 13 and a half. I see there's a seller at 14, right? Where I had my sell order, they came in and they sold it hard at 14. So then what I could do is I could just hit the bid and get out at 13 and a half, right? And still make a 1/4, right? If I'm still in the trade, I can move my sell order down to 13 3/4, 14, because I know the sellers are there. So why wouldn't I take advantage of the fact and sell with them? Right? Otherwise, they're going to knock price back down to 9 and I'm going to lose 3 points. You see? So if I was long 12 and a half and I didn't sell, say 13 1/4, right? Then why am I in business? Right? Why am I in business if it's not hoarders, it's traders, right? You want to sell your inventory. You're not trying to hoard your inventory, especially when people are selling it, because they're going to take your customer, right? Oh, hey, Sergio. There's no stupid questions. How does the right-hand side guide you on the 1 minute? Basically, what it does is it shows me where that overnight high is real quick, right? And then basically what this market profile is, this is like a map of the city, okay? So this is the map of the city, and then if I want to go into this neighborhood, this that helps me zoom in. Now you don't have to have this next to you. I have this next to me because of habit, because I've been doing it for 12 years that way, right? And when I first started, I didn't even have candle charts. I was pure profile. So it basically, this is like a map of the city. And then if I want to go into that neighborhood of 7608, I just zoom in and now I'm in the neighborhood. I can see exactly what's going on in the hood. Here's telling me that the inventory is above us, right? That was distribution. So there's going to be a little bit of selling pressure. Does that help? So you see a little bit of selling pressure because we sold all these poor people position at 12 and now they're trying to get out. The shorts are trapped under 6. That's why we kind of stop and see some buying there. No problem. These market profile charts are a little weird. They don't, we don't see them in regular normal life. They don't teach us the stuff in school. So when we see them, it kind of hurts. When I first started with this market profile trading, it used to hurt my head. I would actually get headaches from trying to look at these charts. It took a while for your eyes to get used to them. And then it takes a while to actually get good information off of them. Because the traditional market profile teachers, they kind of go on and on and on. They don't really say, okay, straight goods, you need to do this when this happens, right? So the information flow is cloudy. So what I've been doing over the last 12, 13 years is trying to get it. So, okay, this is where you use it. This is how you use it. This is where you take the trade. This is where you put your stop. So if I was buying, if this is a look below and fail of 9 3/4, right, and I'm looking for longs, right, I'll be buying, well, I'm high now, right, but I should have been buying between 10 and 12, right? I should have been buying the 10s and the 12s, right, to go sell at 14. right? That's the practical trade. Now, if you're looking for a breakout, if we take out 16, this thing will break out. And the traders who are long will sell into it. So say you're long 14, 13 on some size. Put your sell orders out so when the market goes up and when it does break out, you'll catch the breakout. You'll catch that fish. Otherwise, what's going to happen is if you're long 14 and you're looking for 18, it could go 16 and then retrace on a false breakout. Does Sierra have continuous? Yes, it does. I use CQG and Denali. So I use the continuous contract volume adjusted back. What do they call it? What do they call it here? Back adjusted or something like that. Yeah. I have a whole video on contract rollover. It's on YouTube. It helps you do it step by step. It's simple and it works. So if you're a little long here, long 12, 13, sell the 15s. Sell them like you stole them, my friends. Sell them like you stole them. Don't wait for an invitation because there's sellers there, right? So I bought 12 and a half, 13, and I sold it. I'm flat. Because what did I say? Sell into that price spike. I had my orders there. So when I was long 12 and a half, 13, by the time it broke and ran that, I got out. I don't have to wait. You see what I mean? Guys in the room, ladies in the room, do you understand what I'm talking about? That's why I told you that the false breakout was going to happen. I told you 3 minutes before it happened. Now do you understand why you don't buy breakouts? Now do you understand why you don't put a buy order here that gets triggered and then you get stopped out? Right? This one might have some legs, but you don't know because it's all-time high area, right? That's why you trade the way I teach you. So you're long 12, 13, and you're done business by 16 and you've made your money. Here, if you're buying a breakout, you're hoping and wishing and praying that the market goes up. You have no, you have no information. You don't have anything that tells you that it's going to go higher, other than that the offer is moving higher, but it's choppy, right? A breakout is for you to sell your position into. A breakout is the creation of liquidity, right? It is the creation of buying, which allows you to sell your position into the buying of the horde, right? That's why you don't buy breakouts. Buying breakouts is for suckers, right? You position yourself and you sell into the breakout. And when everybody else is buying, you walk away and you're counting your money, right? This one is working because people are trapped short under 76.12 and they added to it from 12 to 16. Now they're all going to try and cover at the same time, and that's why you've got these three big green candles. But the but being able to actually know that those candles were going to happen for sure to buy the breakout is risky, right? So wouldn't you rather have 12, 13 inventory that you sell at 15, 16 than to try and buy 17, 18, hopefully that you'll get 22? But there's nothing saying that you will, for sure. Right? So I'm trying to make this make sense for you guys. Because so many of you have been trained to buy breakouts. And as a market maker, thank you. We've got to thank whoever trained people to buy the tops of candles and to buy breakouts because they are our exit liquidity, right? Those are the people that allow us to buy Bentleys, right? Because they're buying when we're selling, you know? But in this room, we try and teach you to be smart money, okay? We want you to be smart money. Now let's see, where was our target on this new contract? So we're over 76.16. Target is 76.31 and 3/4. Now I have no idea how that's going to work, right? You've got 32.25. Yeah, but you're using that weird contract. My all-time high is like way higher than that. I know you don't back adjust. You just do it to be weird, right? So that's the Elon Musk in ULC. I knew you'd react. So let's see if we can get up there and tickle that 31 3/4. I know I have to do it to rile you up. Otherwise, nobody else does. Yeah, I've got, what do I have up here? I've got 76.90 and change, 95, I think it is. So it's creeping. So they're all coming into cover. And, you know, let's see what the new contract is. New contract is 476,000. The old one's 429. So yeah, how is old SpaceX? 173.56. Huh. Looks like they're coming for it. So I don't see a short yet, and I don't have my that EMA thing. So we've been experimenting with this 20 EMA, and I don't know. I think where I have trouble with these things is when the space between the level and that grows. I mean, I can tell there's bids there, but do you guys just stay in the trade until it breaks the EMA? Give me some feedback later on because I don't trade this stuff. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help you guys when it goes from sideways to trend, then you can switch up and maybe use an EMA, right? Some people like the 20, some people like the 9, right? So you know, I haven't done the work on either one. This one's a little closer, but then when it broke here, you'd have been out of the trade. But that was a look below and fail. So anyway, more work to come on it. I need to do way more work. It's okay, Dougie. That'll keep the Mustang in gas for a while. I'm just getting feedback from you guys to see. Hey, there's no use putting a bunch of stuff on a chart if you're not going to use it, right? So if we have something on our chart, I want to make sure that we can like get actionable info for it. Otherwise, people just get confused and get frustrated. Where are we now? Up at 22. Is there any news out today? I've gotta admit, I was working so much I didn't even do my basic prep, other than Globex. Is there a FOMC rate decision this week? Was not aware of that. So we see a seller at 22. They stop selling at 16. Get a little back and forth going here. It's fairly slow. Let's see, where's our next trade when B period opens up? So, a couple of things. Big gap, right? The market just showed you 2 points of a move back and straight up, right? So far in the first half hour, right, you'd be nuts to try and short this thing. There's just nothing for sale in Tuscany right now. Right there is nothing for sale. They got plenty of buyers over 17 for the time being. There is no reason. You can take a hit and run short and maybe you'll get lucky on one candle. But, getting lucky is really not a good way to do business. Hope I get lucky is not a business plan, right? I don't think the bank would give you a loan based on that business plan. Right? Maybe you can think of it that way. If I went to a bank and I said, this is the way I'm going to trade, do you think that they would give me a loan based on what I'm doing right now? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, look at the way you trade right now. And then pretend that you had to go talk to a banker or an investor, right? And they were going to fund you, right? Could you say to them, hey, based on the way I'm trading right now, give me 100 grand? Nothing? No? Okay. Hey, Chris, thanks. Okay. I think maybe I think I'm going to stop with the try and help you guys think. Okay, from now on, I'm just going to call out trades and good luck. Right? I'm trying to get you guys to think and help you, but I'm not getting any feedback at all. Right? That's okay. You're on your own. Good luck. You can lead a horse to water, man, but boy, you can't make it drink, that's for sure. All right, B Peter period opening up. Let's see if we got that seller at 16. All righty. Hey, Anne Marie, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, for those of you who are serious about it, think about whether somebody would give you money to trade with, based on how you're trading. And if they wouldn't, then you know you need to change something. I think we might get a PEEF profile here. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? The bank decision will depend on PNL. Do you think? Well, four stars. If you're trading like crap, the PNL is not going to look too good, is it? So yeah. You asked her, you asked our friend for $1 billion and he said no. I think he's still in Europe with his kids or something like that. He took the year off. Right. Well, I came to some realizations last week when I was doing a one-on-one mentoring about how people are learning. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out ways to get you guys to learn, but in the end, it has to be up to you guys, right? So looking for 76.20 now. Right, we seem to have found some bids at 15, 16. If you are long, you want to be selling into the 18s and the 19s, right? Sell them, sell them, sell them, sell them. There's going to be a seller up here when you tackle the 20s. There's enough people short under 17, 15. You'll get a nice push up to 22. How can you tell whether someone is a seller or a buyer? You just watch the ask use. Good question. The seller is the red line, the buyer is the green. So if buyers are coming into the market, this red line will start moving higher. The ask or the offer. It's a beautiful concept that nobody talks about. So you have the seller and the buyer, right? If the seller starts raising prices, it means buyers are coming in. So you can see when the candles are moving higher like that, when the highs of the candles are moving up, means the sellers are moving price up to take advantage of more buyers. It's really simple, but it's not talked about. So when it's not talked about, people aren't used to hearing it, and it sounds kind of weird. Good stuff, Sticky. Good stuff. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I realize, last week a lot of people lost money. The week before, a lot of people lost money. and yet they're not listening and they're not doing what they're told. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to keep people, because guess what? It's not going to get any easier. This summer is going to be very difficult to trade, right? So you need to get better. Simple. And if you want to get better, we'll help you. All you got to do is listen. All you got to do is listen. And a little common sense goes a long way, my friends. A little common sense goes a long way. All right, we're in this sideways sort of distribution. Right, you've got one here, you've got another one here. And we'll look for, let's see what happens. It's early in the day, right? But we're looking for that P-shaped profile. And we kind of had it in the overnight as well, right? That's where the shorts are trapped. They're trapped underneath the base of the P. Right, so we do have sellers at 20. Now let's see when it backfills and moves down, where does it stop selling? Just simple, uncomplicated trading. That's all we want to do. We want to make some money and we want to enjoy our life, right? You don't want to be sitting in front of the screen for 36 hours at a stretch and not make any money. I mean, it's okay if you're sitting at a screen for 20 hours, 30 hours, and you're making 150, 200 grand a day. Cool. But if you're sitting at a screen for 18 hours a day and you're losing money, something's wrong, right? If you're consistently blowing up accounts, if you're consistently losing money, come into the trading syndicate and learn how to trade, right? Learn how to trade, learn how to pay attention, learn how to follow simple instructions, right? And learn when to trade and when to leave it alone, right? Yeah, multitasking is not good for trading. Like you shouldn't be on your scooter, Dave, eating avocado toast, trading on your cell phone, and composing a rap opera at the same time. You probably won't do well. This business demands your concentration. Okay? I know traders are not portrayed as intelligent people, but we do at least know how to concentrate. Okay. Remember, we were looking on a break of 9 3/4. If we get a break of 9 3/4, you're looking for this 76.06 where I drew this line down here, right? If that breaks, then we'll come back down and try VWAP, right? I don't know, Cisco, it just popped into my head. It just popped into my head. So right now we can't even get down to the overnight high. There should be some buy orders here because everybody's trapped short here. And they've been averaging up here. So when it comes back down, you'll see it bid, right? You'll see whether the levels are working. Right now, 9 3/4 is working quite nicely. Now let's see where they sell into it, right? Let's see where they sell into it. It's still a P Moran, just not a great looking one. It'd be wonderful to get some liquidation. Nice work, Aaron. Way to recover. Good recovery. Good recovery. And the thing is, if you're dialed in and you make a mistake, recover like Aaron did. If you're not dialed in and you're having trouble and something's not sitting well with you, just take it easy, right? Sit and watch, right? No use just unnecessarily losing money. It happens sometimes. Sometimes you start trading and you're like, something's bugging you or your mind is elsewhere. Don't trade if it's like that because you need all your attention, right? The market's not going to go anywhere, so it'll be there when you're ready. Just make sure you're ready, right? Sometimes Monday mornings are tough. We haven't traded for a couple of days. You got a bit of an aggressive seller now? Come on now. I want to see the reaction at 6 if we can even get down to 6. Now watch this candle, see where they sell into it. Right? The first green candle after like a few red ones. So you know there's a seller at 14. So say had you bought 11, go sell the 13s, right? Sell 12 and a half, 13 because you know that there's a seller there. You might as well sell with them. You're going to need a break of 14 to look for 15, 16. Let's see what happens on this candle. Remember, this is a brand new contract, so I have no idea how it's going to react. And remember, the order flow right now is being split between two contracts, the old one and the young one. And the old one and the new one, not the young one. So if you do get a split of order flow, you're not going to have as much follow through on both sides. Okay? Good stuff, Aaron. Right? And if you're a short seller, right, watch for the next candle. If the next candle opens and stays under 9 3/4, that's a good sign. The more candles you get under 9 3/4, it means that there's a seller, right? See how it's popping back up now? So the seller under 9 3/4, they saw buyers and they're raising price. So let's see what happens on the next candle, right? We need the sellers to lower price, right? We need them to compete and lower price under 9.5, 9 3/4. Here we go. So there's that candle there, the sellers under 9 3/4. So if you're shorting this area, go put some bids at 6, right? So if you short 8.5 down to 6, a couple of points. Okay. Now let's see if it breaks that 6 and hits the overnight high, which is at 2.25. Okay, VWAP is right there at 98, so there are going to be some buy orders underneath the open. Okay, so be prepared. Right? That short might not have lasted more than a minute. If we accept back over 10, 11, we'll have flushed out the longs and we'll tickle back the 12s and the 13s. Why so many bids at 6? Jimmy, what's underneath 6? What's sitting there like a sore thumb? The overnight high. The overnight high at 76.02. There's so many bids at 6 because they're front running the overnight high. VWAP is at 98. The overnight high is at 2. You're okay, Gorilla. Not a big deal. But they're front running the overnight high. What's the difference between waiting next candle open and watching sellers on the same candle? It's just time, Italian trader, right? In this market, sometimes it takes time for orders to come in and develop. In a perfect world, I like to wait for the next candle to open and give me that information. Like right now, I can't tell if it's going to go up or down, right? It's going back and forth over 9 3/4, but there's no follow through yet. We had follow through up to 14, and then we had follow through down to 6. So 6 to 14 is kind of like a balance now, just based on 2 candles. So let's see if we can take out that 6. And if we take out 6 this time, can we come down and tickle the 3s and the 2s? It's all structure. The reason why there's so much buying under 2 is because everyone's trapped short under 2. So when it gets anywhere close to 2, they come in and start buying 6, 7, 8, 9. Now you have to remember that the people who are trapped short under 2, they're not trapped with 2 or 3 retail contracts. These are people who are trapped size. So they would like to buy it cheaper, but they have to buy hundreds of contracts, if not thousands. So they will buy where they can, not where they want to. And that's a huge difference in business. Because in business, if you're a size participant, you have to transact where it's feasible, right? You have to transact where, if I'm a buyer of 1,000 contracts, sure, I'd like to get them at like $5, but what if they're not going under 7? You got to buy them at 7. You can't be delusional, right? Because it's a business, and your business is to turn cash into inventory and then back to cash. So you have to take them back where you can, not where you want to, because you're trading size. Just like sometimes they go, oh, why don't they sell higher? Because they've got thousands of contracts to sell, and there's 200 other people in there selling the exact same contract who are looking to steal your customer. So you better sell it, otherwise you're going to be holding contracts and no money. Does that make sense? That's why we have to wait. We wait for these large traders. Look at that. See, look how it went from 9 3/4, right? And now it's looking like a look below and fail, but we had to wait 2 minutes, 3 minutes for the market to tell us what the hell's going on. Because we could have easily been caught short 9, 8, and now sucking wind at 14. So sometimes you will miss trades. Don't worry about it. Okay? There's always going to be another trade. There's always going to be another trade, right? So on that one, I wasn't dialed in. I was talking. I wasn't even looking at the chart. I was looking at the Discord, but I just glanced at the chart and like, oh yeah, nice big red, big green candle. Right back up to that 14 level. Yeah, I'd rather miss a trade any day than get stuck in a bad one, man. Yeah, trades are like waves. There's always another one. You know, it's not like the market is like the carnival. It's not gonna, pack up and move town next week and be gone, right? There has to be a reason to enter, Italian trader. So trades are based on 2 things: no supply, too much supply. So if there's no supply under a level, you buy some and you become the supply and sell it up. If there's too much supply, you sell with the sellers when they put it on sale. And that's it. For me, I would have waited till we cleared 14. I would have been buying 11 and 12, using 10 as 10 and 9 as a stop, and I'd be out here at 13. Right? If I was long 10, 11, 12, I'd be selling 13, 14. Because there's a seller there. You can see him. It's plain as day. See? And you got to be quick. You have to be quick. This is why I train people in my private coaching. I train them the physical ins and outs on trading with their software so they don't hesitate. So they know where their orders are, they know how to use their software, and they can trade in a fluid manner, other than going, oh, where I got to put the buy, oh here. By the time that's the trade's gone, right? You have to be able to execute in this market without hesitation. Learn how to trade quickly. It's not because you want to do 200 scalps a day. You need your brain and your body to move quickly in a market that is volatile. Otherwise, they will eat you for lunch, right? Unless you can move quickly, you will get destroyed, especially if you're trying to trade regular trading hours. It's really, really very family friendly. It's like the teacups at Disneyland right now. 90% of you that I'm talking to have never even seen real volatility, right? You have no idea what real volatility is like. Real volatility is when it's jumping 20, 30 points in like 30 seconds, in 10 seconds, because the order books are thin and it's just bopping around. And you have to know how to trade that, or you have to know have the common sense to not trade it. That's why we want to teach you how to do business when it's smart to do business. Get it? Right? You want to do business when it makes sense, when it's smart to do business, not when you're at risk, right? Yeah, I don't know why anyone would trade gold unless you got a lot of money and you have some skill, right? It's a thin market. No, no, it's not an issue at all. Purple to green level is 7 points. Even if you get half of that, you get 3.5 points a trade, Milo. You're doing great. You just have to get used to the type of trading at the time. Oh, do they? Gold has a cash settled tiny contract now? Oh, cool. Well, maybe you guys can cut your teeth on that, right? Whatever you trade, whether it's ES or NQ, learn the market. Learn the market, learn the execution, understand how the order flow works, understand how the market changes so you can adapt to it. Right? If you're a slow trader, you should not be trading NQ. Right? If you don't know how to move fast, don't trade NQ. They'll pick your bones clean. Right? It looks exciting until all your money's gone. Right? Pick a nice stable market. Don't trade RTH. Try and trade Globex. It's a 23-hour day. What else? Oh boy, what else? What else? What else? There is sellers everywhere. Now, see, that's what I want to hear from you, Jimmy. Now you're starting to use the old coconut. There's sellers everywhere. Exactly. And remember what I said, there's splitting volume between two contracts. So you're going to have less people driving it. Pretend that you've got it's a double lane. It's two big roads, right? You've got like four lanes. It's like the I-5. So there's not as much traffic. You go put all that traffic on one road, you'll get congestion and you'll get movement, right? So we're taking the regular volume and we're splitting it between two products, the old and the new contract. That's why it's a little choppy. That'll get better as the week goes on. So Jimmy, you just practice that look below and fail over and over and over and over again. Right? Put your blinders on and just take it on the sim, make notes. Take it on the sim, make notes. Keep doing that until you get you know, until you get the execution down. Nice rotation. VPOC is 76 13 and change, right? Yeah, there's a nice little box here. It's a little choppy, but sellers at 14 and they kind of stopped selling at, I'd say 8, 7. Right. I am, in the back of my head, I'm short biased, right? I'm looking for an inventory correction lower, right? I say it out loud, so I'm aware of it, right? But right now, every time we get anywhere near 6, 7, 8, 9, boom, there's a buyer, right? Can you speak about the difference in zone levels and how that makes a difference when trading them versus your levels? Oh, it's the same process. Yeah. It's the same process. So you have a cost basis Milo, 2 times profit, 4 times profit, 2 times discount, 4 times discount. So when you're trying to buy at the lowest possible level so you get the best discount. When you're shorting, you want it to look above and fail at the highest possible level so you'll ensure that selling competition. Your zones are great. Now all you have to do is kind of settle into the zone and think about what's happening in the zone, right? Remember, the chart is a chart of the distribution of inventory. So all of the inventory for us now is underneath the overnight high, right? That's where all the inventory is, right? The overnight point of control is down here at 75.90. We're selling that product at 76.14. So this is distribution. Let me just get rid of, hang on. If I get rid of all these drawings, you'll see, right? There's Friday's inventory. Friday's inventory is here. And so we're taking Friday's inventory and we took it and we sold it at night up here, and that brought buyers, right? And there's a big gap here where there's no supply. So if you look, check this out. Real simple. This doesn't have to be complicated, right? All we're doing, my friends, is just taking this and selling it up here, right? This is distribution. This was distribution too of Friday's product. But guess what happened? This distribution, it brought buyers. So the people who are short here, they came in and they're trapped and they're trying to buy here. And people who short, if they short here enough and we take out that high, we'll get that move. For now, let's see what happens. It's a good distribution, right? They're making those people who are trapped from last week, they're really making them pay for it. Any questions? Guys, okay? Thanks so much for being with me. Remember, reach out to me if you want to be a part of that group. The requirements are that you have to be able to pay attention and do what you're told. Okay? So I've got a couple of people who've reached out. Let me know. And we will see you tomorrow morning. Thank you, everyone. Have a great trading day. Stay out of trouble. Appreciate you guys. Bye for now.